Welcome to the Innovia Consulting webinar series. This session is powered by US Transactions Corporation. USD is a boutique payment processing firm, providing you with personalized service. Scan the QR code to learn more about Innovia Consulting and to see the latest Business Central news and training for your business.
So our presentation is Save Your Click, your guide to Business Central shortcuts. Throughout this webinar, I'm only going to use my keyboard, so no mouse clicks. And to set the agenda, I will go through a list of commonly used Business Central shortcuts. Not going to go through all of them just because there's so many out there, it will take forever. I'm just going to go through the ones that my clients have enjoyed the most and that I have as well. I will say that there will be a quiz throughout the presentation, so I would recommend taking notes. And with that, let's get into some general shortcuts. Might have to do a mouse click to get back to the PowerPoint. There we go. And then if you ever, let's get back into PowerPoint. There we go. If you ever look for Business Central shortcuts online, you're going to find this page, which is a really good page. I do enjoy it. It has a lot of commonly used Business Central shortcuts, but it doesn't have all of them. But this is a good place to get started. So let's get into some shortcuts that my clients and that I love the most. So the one that I probably use the absolute most is Alt-Q. This opens the Tell Me window. So if you're in Business Central in the upper right-hand corner, there's that little spyglass. Yes, so at the end of the PowerPoint, there is going to be a link to the PowerPoint, and I can also give y'all the one that my team has created here, Innovia. But so Tell Me when it opens this search window. So in the upper right-hand corner of Business Central, there is that spyglass. So instead of clicking on that, Alt-Q, Escape allows you to go back up to a previous page. Alt-Right will open, if you ever are in Business Central and there's those three dots in the given field, select Alt-Right, and that will open the drop-down for that. If there's an arrow in that field, select Alt-Down, and it'll open that arrow. Control F5 will refresh the data on the page. So I know sometimes I've had clients where it says hit F5 on Business Central and Business Central doesn't actually refresh. Control F5 will allow you to do the hard refresh. Control Enter will save and close the page, and Alt-T will open my setting. A couple more that I use with my clients, Control Alt F1 for page inspect. So a lot of times when I'm teaching customers how to create configuration packages, I'll have them use Control Alt and F1 to show which page you're on so they can add it to the config pad. Control F1 will open Business Central Help. Control F12 will switch between the wide and narrow layout views. I'm all about as much real estate on the page as possible. So I always recommend hitting Control F12 just to get as much real estate on there. Control O will open available companies. So you see me use that in our demonstration. Alt F2 opens and hides the fact box. Again, I'm about real estate, so I'm all about toggling back and forth between the fact box. And then Tab will allow you to move to the next available field. All right, let's get into our first demonstration. I'm going to Alt-Tab to Business Central. And I went too far. All right, so this is my Cronus environment. I'm not going to use a live environment just for privacy reasons, but I will use a Cronus environment just to give you a little preview of what is available, and it has a little bit of data in there. So first, I'm going to pick on a sales order. So to start with the sales order, I'm going to select Alt-Q, and that opens my Tell Me window, and we're going to look at sales order. I'm going to arrow down to sales orders, select Enter. And just like I was saying before, I love real estate. So as you can see, my sales order screen is all the way open, but I can Control F12 to show just a high level overview. But again, I love real estate. So Control F12, have a lot more real estate. If you really want to look at a high level overview of your sales order, but you don't want to go into it, you can select Alt F2, and that will open up your fact box. And then, like I said before, if you're working with a client who's building a configuration package, you can select Control Alt F1, and it's going to And then as you can see on the right-hand side, it tells me what page I'm on and what table I'm using. So I know another way is to go to help and then page inspect. And there's a lot more clicks to it. So I prefer just to select Control Alt and F1 to open my page inspect. And then to get back to my home page, I'll select Escape. So just a quick overview, we went to Alt Q just to open up my settings, and then most importantly, Escape just to get back to Business Central homepage. So I have my first quiz question for you. Which keyboard shortcut is used to go back to the previous page? Is it F9, Escape, Delete, or Tab? I'll give everyone a moment to answer the question. Cool. That's correct. Uh, hmm, okay. Yes. So escape is going to allow you to go back. F9 posts a document, which you'll see in a later slide. Escape goes back. Delete, there's actually not a shortcut for delete, which kind of surprised me. And then a tab allows you to advance to the next field. Get a little bit harder now. We're going to look at filtering shortcuts. So the top filtering shortcuts that clients have used and that I love to use is Alt F3 is going to filter to a specific value. Alt F7 will sort the column ascending and descending. Shift F3 will open the filter sidebar. Control Enter will change the focus from the filter pane back to the list. And then my favorite one, Control, Alt, Shift, and F3 all at the same time will reset all filters. This is, especially the Control Enter is specific just to your list pages. So if you're in a sales order, it might not work the same. So let's actually get into a demonstration and show you how the filtering shortcuts actually work. So let's go back to Business Central and let's pick on posted sales invoices. So Alt Q for posted sales invoice. And if you're familiar with Business Central, you know you do not have to spell out everything. You can just type just the high level letters. So as you can see, I have a good amount of posted sales invoices. First thing I want to do actually is look at the ones with remaining amount. I can always arrow over to remaining amounts, excuse me, and select Alt F7, and it's going to sort ascending, then Alt F7 again, descending. So I can see the ones that have remaining amounts, which is nice, but still a lot of noise on the screen. I love to get rid of as much noise as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Shift F3 and get into my posted sales invoice. And I'm going to add a couple of filters just to clean up the noise. So we'll do remaining amount and greater than 0. It shows me all the ones with remaining amounts. And then I want to dig a little bit deeper. So let's actually look at the salesperson. So tab, enter salesperson code. And we're going, as you can see, it has the arrow down. So we're going to select Alt down. And let's pick on PS, so Peter. So now I have all the available ones where Peter is the salesperson, there's a remaining amount. And let's say you want to dig even further deeper. So we're going to pick on customer. And since it's limited data, I can use customer number. So arrow down again, so Alt down. And let's pick on Trey. Now I have a lot of filters in place. I have the remaining amount, the customer code, and the customer number, which is great. But at the end of the day, now I want to see everything again. So instead of deleting all the filters, I'm going to select Control, Alt, Shift, F3, and all of my filters have been removed, which is really great if you're like me, you get really deep in the weeds and you're like, hold on, I need to go back and start all over again. Control, Alt, Shift, and F3 will be your keyboard shortcuts to remove all of those filters. All right, and let's get back into the PowerPoint. And The more shortcuts that I use are in the cards and documents. I probably am in cards and documents a lot for our customers, just especially in the beginning of building environment. So these are ones that you're definitely going to use a lot. Alt N creates a new record. Alt D will open dimensions. Alt O will add notes to selected records. Control Delete will delete a line. F7 will open and close the statistic box. F8 copies data from the above cell. Control F9 releases the document, and F9 will post the document. Now let's get into a demonstration of what would normally happen in a regular environment. So we're going to tab back to Business Central, escape back to the home page, and let's start with adding a customer, because this is what we would do. We'll add a customer, and then we're going to actually create a sales invoice for that customer. So Alt Q and customer. We're going to arrow down to customer and select enter. And we'll create a new customer. We will, so Alt N for new record. And let's create a retail customer. And I'm going to leave the number series as is. The name, let's pick on Academy. And let's add a salesperson to Academy. So since there's an arrow there, you're going to select Alt down. And we will let's add Bart. Sales team code has the 3 dots, so Alt right. Oh, don't have a sales team code there. Oh. Well, if I had a sales team code there, Alt right would have opened that. And let's say I want to add dimensions to this customer. So I'm going to select Alt D. And since there's an arrow here, Alt down. And we will add customer group. And don't know the customer groups off the top of my head, so Alt down again. And medium. And let's see what other ones are there. Salesperson. And enter. And now this time we'll have Sam. I'm going to escape back to the home page, to my customer. And let's add an address really quick. 1212 North. I think it's on Mason Road, actually. Academy has an office here in the Houston area, so I kind of know where it's at. And Texas. And to save this customer, I'm going to select Control Enter. Control Enter. And as you can see, now down here at the bottom of my customer list is Academy. To create a sales invoice for Academy, I'm going to select Alt Q and sales invoice. Come down to sales invoices. Alt N to create a new record. And then customer name, since there's the 3 dots there, and I'm going to select Alt right. And then I'm going to select F3 to open the search on that given page. And we will select Academy, tab, down to the customer number, enter. And then as you can see, my salesperson did come from the previous page. And customer number, let's add a Paris desk chair. If it will, there we go. 10. And we're going to arrow down. And let's say we want 2 orders of that. So we're going to select F8. And F8 is going to copy the data from the previous cell. And quantity will be the same. So F8 again. And then let's add the Berlin chair as well. I'm going to show you a trick to this. And then we'll add 10 of those. And then I've actually had this happen where a customer has told me, like, I added that extra line by mistake. I did not need 2 lines of Paris desk chair. So to delete that, we're going to select Control Delete. I'll ask if you want to. And I'm going to select OK. And now I've just deleted that line. Before I post this, I want to add a note to the sales invoice. So Alt O. And this is a test. Control Enter. And now I'll save my invoice. Now what I want to do is release it so the warehouse can review it. So Alt F9, Alt F9. No, Control F9, I'm sorry. If my keyboard will agree with me. And then, of course, there's always an error. So location code, Alt down, and let's select main, and then F8 to save that, to bring it down from the previous page, then Control F9. And now I've released it, as you can see by the status. And then now that I've released it, warehouse reviewed it, let's go ahead and post it. So to post it, I'm going to select F9. Do I want to post? Yes. Business Central is going to do its thing. Insufficient quantity. Well, that happens when you're especially using Cronus. But if I had that, if I had quantity in there, F9 would have posted that, and we would have been able to see this posted sales invoice. So I'm going to escape back to my homepage. Are you sure? Yep. Shift tab to say yes. Escape back to my homepage. And I have a couple more questions for you. So Alt tab. Let's get back into Business Central. Our PowerPoint. Which keyboard shortcut allows you to create a new record? Is it F3, Alt N, F7, or Shift right? That is correct. Alt N. So F3 opens Find Me, so it's going to open the search on that given page. Alt N creates a new record. F7 will open and close the statistic box, and Shift right opens the value of the cell with 3 dots in it. Excuse me. And our final question, which keyboard shortcut opens the Tell Me window? So is it Escape, F7, Alt Q, or F3? Yep, and that is correct. The answer is Alt Q. Course Escape allows you to go back to a previous page. F7 will open and close the statistic box. Alt Q opens the Tell Me window. And F3 opens the search box on that given page. Oh, I finished early. So I guess I talked fast. So I finished early. Um, just to works cited, Microsoft Learn, Business Central keyboard shortcuts has so many more shortcuts that are available. Actually, I can show you that since we have a little bit of time. So as you can see, it's a very long page, and it just goes on. There's so many more shortcuts that are available that Microsoft has built into Business Central. Of course, I highlighted the ones that I like the most. If you go through this page, you might find some more that are more beneficial to you and your role. But just like I said, the customers that I've worked with so far have enjoyed the ones that we highlighted today. So with that, are there any questions?
Isaiah, were you going to drop that link in the chat
Yeah,
for your
let me drop that link.
deck? Yeah, that would be great. I know those first couple of graphics looked amazing. I agree, Dan. So Dan asked, can we just watch you run through a few of these again? It's great to see someone using them in real time.
Okay, so didn't practice one, but let's go back to Business Central. Like Control O, I'm going to switch companies. I built my own text company, so Control to go to companies. I'm going to go to mine, I select enter to switch to mine. Business Central is going to think about it. And then I'm going to make sure my work date is correct because a lot of times when I'm working in this environment, my work date switches to Alt T and it opens up my settings. And as you can see, my work date is 6/7. So I'm going to change that to today's date. So to change it to today's date, we're going to select T, tab. And now Business Central is going to change it to today's date, which is 12/14. And we'll select enter to close. Well, sorry, tab down and enter to close. And then we can pick on a journal. So Alt Q and journal, enter. Actually, no, inventory journal. So a lot of my training that I do with my customers are inventory journals as well. I love to talk about inventory. I'm kind of focused on operations here at Business Central. I mean, here at Innovia. So let's actually shift tab, wrong screen. There's Business Central. There it is. And that's not covering today. Actually, let's delete the line. So control delete. Control delete. Yep. And we'll post these. So actually let's change the quantity. So for physical inventory journals, you can change the quantities here. So we'll change it to 31, 46, and 66. So to post this, I'm going to select F9 and post a journal, shift tab, yes, I do. And my journal lines were created. So I can go to, what is it? I think it's Q posted. I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry. Practice for this one as well. Posted journals. And let's sort ascending. So that is top of my head. Sort ascending. Oh, I lost that one. Sorry, I do apologize. Was not ready for a different for a third one. Look at my sorry, I had to look at my cheat sheet for this one. At Control Alt F7, sorry. You want to save. Sorry, Business Central. My keyboard does not like me today. Nothing wrong with PC. Thank you. I will have to use my mouse just to switch back tabs. And
We
then
have a couple people who asked about that that graphic you had at the beginning of your deck. Isaiah, the one that had, is that your cheat sheet?
actually Business Central's. So
Cheat sheet. Okay, yeah, that one was a really good one, and I think that was one that a couple people wanted to have if you had it available.
yeah, this one's available. This is the one that's on the Business Central website.
Okay, great.
And then my team here at Innovia, Team Endeavor, we actually created one as well. It's
Okay,
not. It's more of a list page than using the keyboard, but I can share that one with Angie so she can post that as well.
perfect. Thank you so much. Does anybody else have any questions for Isaiah while we have him? We have like 2 minutes left. And if you think of something, I'll go ahead and close this out. Isaiah, did you have any final parting words that you wanted to give to the audience?
I definitely recommend getting into the website that I posted in the chat and really playing with Business Central because, as you can see, I moved fast using these shortcuts versus having to do so many clicks. So definitely play with Business Central. I love Business Central. I have enjoyed my time with playing with Business Central. I'm actually a junior, so I come from outside of the NAV environment, and these shortcuts have made me feel so much more comfortable with Business Central.
That
Scan
is
the
awesome.
QR
Thank you.
code to learn more about Innovia Consulting and to see the latest Business Central news and training for your business.